Hey, what's poppin'? This your boy Jay the Comedian. How y'all doing today? How am I doing? Oh, I feel great. The weather's beautiful. I'm in my backyard. Flowers. Check them out. Yeah, we got flowers. Anyway, I'm doing too much right now. Today I want to talk to you guys about why Jehovah Witnesses are not, happy about people getting a higher education. Now, I find this particularly funny because the Jehovah Witnesses absolutely use people with a higher education. Like, it's no doubt about it. 100%. They even call out from time to time, hey, are there any lawyers or doctors out there? We could really use your help. Especially in the case of Dr. Fauci, who used the fact that he was a person with a higher education with degrees and he was a doctor and all these other things, and they used it to their benefit, Now, first off, I personally believe that he shouldn't be involved in any study that he could possibly have a bias in. Like, that's just not true science, and it shouldn't work that way, because there's certain things that we know he got wrong, and the only reason he got them wrong was because he was a Jehovah Witness. So he should have probably recused himself in as far as like researching into those particular things. But whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. But the fact that he has said in his book that he really disagrees with the Watchtower really being anti-higher education. You know what I mean? That's not a good thing. And I agree with him 1,000%. So we need to really think about why exactly an organization that needs people from time to time who have a higher education, who could probably get more money from people if they allowed them to go to school and further their education and have more job opportunities and more financial opportunities, why would they then not want people to do things like that? Like, does that make sense to you logically? The only reason they would do that is because they're at risk of losing something greater. Now, let me point out exactly what I mean, okay? Once a kid turns 18, 19, I'm gonna be honest with you, for the most part, being a devout religious person is not on their mind. I don't care who you are, even if you're the most spiritual Jehovah's Witness of all time. When you're that young, that energetic, that horner, being an amazing spiritual person conflicts the inner workings of your own body. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything in your body is saying, hey, don't you want to go party and drink and bang somebody? And it is a constant struggle to get all your energy and all your focus onto spiritual things at that age. So it's hard to do. And that's why people at that age going off to college, well, first off, if you're in college and you're a full-time student, you're going to need to still provide for yourself. So you're going to need some type of a job, maybe a part-time job. Some people work full-time jobs while being full-time students, which leave them absolutely zero time for Jehovah. So that means everything that it would take to keep somebody brainwashed and locked into that religion, you're not doing that much of. You're not going out of field service like that. You're not making your meetings like that. Everything about the Jehovah Witness organization is structured to keep people in and keep people busy and active. Because as long as you're busy and as long as you're active, you can't see them taking advantage of you. You can't see it. And by the time you look up, 30 years have gone by and boom, you've lost out on a lot. Now, when you're in college, like I said, and your schedule is busy, you're actually sacrificing something when you're sacrificing something other than to the Jehovah Witnesses, like you're making your sacrifices to your future and to your kids' future and to your own financial future and your own financial happiness, and you're not looking out in the best interest of the organization, that's problematic. Because while you're in school, you're learning several things. One thing is how to think, how to ask critical, like really critical thinking questions and not accepting just any old answer, Like, you start to think in a pattern where things have to make sense logically. And if they don't make sense logically, then you're not really gonna believe them. And if you start thinking that way consistently, that's a problem for the Jehovah's Witness organization. They like to be able to put out legislation and just put out doctrine and have people just accept it. Don't think about it, just eat it. Hi, this is a burger. Why, a burger smells funny. Don't think about how it smells, just eat it. That's what they want their people to do. And that doesn't work for somebody who's been educated with a college education, who's preparing people to enter a competitive work field. They can't allow people to be Jehovah's Witnesses in a competitive environment for the most part, because, like you always know, the Jehovah's Witnesses really discourage a competitive attitude. Now, if a person is out there getting an education and they get this competitive drive to win, and they have the confidence that their own reasoning and that their own intelligence is enough, do you know how hard it is to brainwash a person like that? Or to keep a person in that type of mind conditioning brainwashed? Damn near impossible. Now, if you have somebody who has disability and they're in your congregation and you're trying to force your will upon them, it's not gonna work. And not only is it not gonna work, they're gonna probably have a really good job, meaning they're gonna make a lot of money. And if they have a lot of money, they're intelligent, and their eyes start to open. You know what I mean? You start to really realize, because if you make a certain amount of money per year and you work in a competitive field where your intelligence and your strength has to come to work with you, and you have to spend a nice amount of time thinking and building like that, you think you're gonna let some elders come up to you and just tell you what you should be doing or what you should be watching or how you should be feeling? There's no way you can keep a person like that inside the organization. And this is the problem, because if you have somebody like that inside the organization, first off, you're not going to keep them in that organization long. And it comes down to what would benefit the organization more: having a ton of people who are very highly educated, very well off financially, and but you can't control them. You know what I mean? And not only can you not control them, the problem with giving people an education and they start to wake up and they start to leave in bunches, when you lose one member inside of that organization, you lose an entire possible generation of growth. You lose them, you lose their children, you lose their children's children. And you know what I mean too, because any and everybody who's ever been a Jehovah's Witness, after years inside of that organization, as soon as you have a kid, it's your kid day one to start indoctrinating them as far as how the Jehovah's Witnesses think and behave. It don't matter if they're baptized or not. The moment you're born into a Jehovah's Witness household, you are a Jehovah's Witness. I can tell you now, I wasn't baptized, but I couldn't hang out with nobody who wasn't worldly. I mean, who was worldly, I'm sorry. I wasn't baptized, but I still couldn't party. You know what I mean? They held me to the standards of a baptized Jehovah's Witness, though I was not one. So I was a Jehovah's Witness the moment I was born into this family. And I stayed that until I got baptized. Even then, it was like, yeah, now it's official. But trust me, when I was like wilding out a little bit younger and whatnot, people would, like, to a certain degree, like if they just saw me at the Kingdom Hall and they knew how like extra spiritual my father was and how super spiritual my mother was, they think I was super spiritual. So I had like certain interactions and people thought I was like really spiritual. But once they got to know me, they were really hesitant about like associating with me and talking to me. It was almost like a shadow disfellowshipping, you know what I mean? And after I got baptized, I guess they were like, oh, I guess he is taking it serious. Even though I wasn't, I was absolutely still wilding out. But the point is, if you get an education, you build something for yourself. And it takes a extraordinary amount of sacrifice to go off to school, put in those hours and testing and late night study sessions, and the accomplishment you feel after you get those A's and B's and you walk across that stage and you get your degree, nobody can't tell you nothing after that. What are these people gonna tell you? How can you control somebody like that? Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's been done. There are people, Dr. Fauci is a perfect example, but it's harder to do, especially at scale. Can you imagine if it was routine for Jehovah's Witnesses to go get an education and one of them start asking questions? It would take only one of them, really. Because if you're having an intelligent conversation with another intelligent person, usually people that are the most intelligent don't shy away from hard questions. Like, you could tell somebody, oh, don't talk to an apostate because they'll deceive you with lies. But you tell a confident, intelligent person they can't talk to somebody because they may be deceived by them, they're like, oh, really? Bring it on. I want to see that happen. Because I have confidence in myself and my ability to rationalize things and to think. You telling me that I would lose I would be fooled by somebody as if I don't have the mental capacity to defend myself from an educational point? Are you kidding me? No, I don't believe it, and I won't believe it, not even for a second. So this is why educated people inside the organization is so problematic. They don't want to lose you, and even though they could benefit from you and they would use you and they could use the money you would donate to the organization, it doesn't outweigh the fact that they would no longer be able to control you the way they'd like to. And man, if it was a lot of people like that in that organization, there would be so little control that they'd lose the entire organization, period. So that's why they're against higher education. That's why they don't want you at school and learning and putting yourself in the best position possible to win in this life. That's why it's good you left. That's why it's so good that you're like, you know what? I can do better than this. And you've done better. And you will continue to do better. The longer you're gone, the better you'll do. And I hope y'all having a great day. Like I said, it's a beautiful day out here. I'm going to stay out here a little longer. Unless those wasps come, then I'm going in the house. But other than that, if you like this video, please subscribe. If you want to, talk to me, hit me up in the comments. And yeah, man, have a great day, all right? It's your boy Jay the Comedian. Holla at your guala. Deuces.